welcome to another video, guys, and today we are going to be reacting to some creepy TikToks that will make you rethink your reality. Keep it locked up to the end and let's go.
Red Bull jump. This is definite proof that everyone watching is an idiot. Brad, this is your Red Bull jump, right? What is wrong with what you're looking at?
Oh, I remember watching this.
Yeah, what's wrong with what you're looking? What's wrong with the Earth? Isn't the Earth supposed to be 80% water? Go to Red Bull jump. You're telling me all of Earth is New Mexico? The Earth is 100% landmass. There's no oceans.
Why
the curve is on the wrong way.
Why is that the wrong way?
It's concave. Because look, it's going to distort into level, which it is, Earth's flat. But look at this. It's going to correct the lens. It's a fisheye lens. Look, look, look. Look, now the Earth is round because it's a fisheye. No, millions of people didn't see this because it's a fisheye. You know a fisheye can distort?
Right.
Right? Tell me it's not a fisheye. And number two, why the is all of Earth New Mexico? There's not even a pond. There's supposed to be oceans, bro. It's all landmass. Like, go to the beginning of the video.
Wow.
Guys, I don't know too much about these Earth being round or flat, but some things this guy is saying make sense. Like 70% of the world is made up of water, so at least from space you should be seeing a lot of water. But if that video shows just like 90% land, then it's questionable.
Oh, ครับงูใหญ่โตมันอยู่ได้ล่ะนี่หมุนปลามันสิเบ็ด
If an octagon has 8 sides and an octopus has 8 feet, why is October the 10th month? You might have heard that this is because Julius and Augustus were inserted into the calendar as the months July and August, but that's not true. Those months already existed, they were just called something else before Julius and Augustus. Specifically, what they were called was quintilis and sextilis, which fits perfectly into the numerical pattern that's continued by September, October, November, December. So if not Julius and Augustus, who do we blame for this? Whose fault is it that the numbers are misaligned? Well, you may have noticed that these numbers imply that the year began in March, which is true, it did. You may therefore be wondering if January and February were months 11 and 12, but they weren't. The deal with January and February is that they didn't exist. That time was not considered part of the year. Numa Pompilius is credited with dividing the winter period and adding January and February to the proper calendar, but Numa Pompilius is the legendary second king of Rome who reigned after Romulus himself, and even later Roman historians admitted that this was such an ancient time period that there was really no way of knowing what the facts were. So I am sorry for ruining your "the person responsible should be stabbed" jokes. However, I think it is even funnier that 1, January and February didn't exist, and also 2, the ancient Romans only bothered to name the first 4 months, and then they gave the rest of them numbers, which has very ADHD unfinished project energy, and I respect it.
This baby.
So guys, I think I've heard a story somewhere that there is a 13th month missing. And I don't know if this is really true, but tell me down in the comment section below if you've had this kind of thing, that there is a month missing, like they've stolen a month from us. Because if you look at it, September should be 7, and then October should be the 8th month. You see?
Is actually a demon. Let me explain. Many people claim that the baby son in the Teletubby TV series is pure evil. The theory is backed up with little to no evidence, but it is said that if you look closely at the beginning of each episode, the baby sun rises and later expands. In a split second, a demon face can be seen. I personally don't see it, but can you see it?
Yeah, I can see when the child is laughing. I think at the end of this thing, I think you can see an evil face.
Is gonna make you feel crazy. Doja Cat might have had something to do with what happened to him. After Matthew's tragic passing, Doja Cat deleted all of her videos except for this one. So obviously the comments on that video are crazy. People are like, what? Did you have something to do with this? She now deletes the video. There's nothing up now. Take a closer look at this logo and you'll see that something is off. Now the word friends is 7 letters, and in between each letter is a dot that represents each of the friends. You can see how it correlates to each one here. The dot in between the D and the E is gone. Why is one of them missing? This is just a conspiracy theory. I like talking about conspiracy theories. This is not a disrespectful thing. And this was a promotion for her new music video called Demons. And we all know how she's been recently, and all of the other conspiracy theories. Now I get that Friends is a popular TV show, but like the timing's really weird. You can't deny that. Everything is intentional. How would this have been an error? Think about the kind of team she has. How would they forget the first dot? But the promotional photo came out exactly 2 months before what happened to him. And you remember he did all these weird Instagram posts right before he passed away. I made a post about that if you don't know what I'm talking about. Like, all of this weird stuff makes you wonder if he saw it coming. If you like my content, follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more.
All these videos, I have to say, are just for entertainment purposes, but you would do yourself a service watching these videos with an open mind.
Got this information.
So the ancient Egypt, the original one, not the one that we know of today, is actually in America. I know, it's hard for me to wrap my head around this one too. But did you know that there's more pyramids in North America than there are in Egypt? Which is odd, because you would think that if the Egyptians were from modern day Egypt, there should be more pyramids there, not over here. How did they get over here in the first place? Also, look at our dollar bill. It literally has a pyramid on the back of it. And that's the Washington Monument, which look a lot like obelisks over in Egypt. Really, the similarities are insane. Also, did you know that on April 5th in 1909, there was an article published about the exploration of G.E. Kincaid, which was funded by the Smithsonian, is where they discovered an enormous cave system in the Grand Canyon while G.E. Kincaid was floating down the Colorado River. And this cave system extended 1,600 meters into the ground. Like, that's massive. And they found Egyptian hieroglyphics. They found tools. They found pottery. They found even mummies in it. They found an entire room full of them. But they won't tell you that because to this day, the Smithsonian is in denial of ever funding such an exploration, and there are claims that G.E. Kincaid never even existed. But that's not even where it stops. Look at this old map of America. It's called Ti Amarikan, and in the Egyptian hieroglyphic dictionary, Ti Amaru, which means people of the land of the Nile flood, aka Egyptians. Ti Amaru, T.
Why the genius scientist Nikola Tesla was obsessed with the numbers 3, 6, 9. He once said, "If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe." To understand this, we need to know that humans did not create mathematics, but we discovered it, because it is the law of operation of the universe. It is the language of the universe. Here is what Tesla discovered. When doubling 1, we get 2, doubling 2 are 4, doubling 4 for 8, doubling 8 for 16, a total of 16 is 7, doubling 7 for 14, a total of 14 is 5, doubling 5 for 10, a total of 10, we return to number 1, and this pattern repeats endlessly without the appearance of the number 3, 6, 9. Interestingly, when doubling 3 we get 6, when doubling 6 we get 12. The sum of 12 is again 3. These two numbers complement each other. Only 9 is the highest independent number. Tesla said that these three numbers are in a higher dimension that controls the three-dimensional world that we live in. If 3 and 6 are yin and yang, then 9 is a higher entity that controls this whole universe.
It's a stereotype that Jews think they're better than everybody, and they act like it, and they talk like it. And it's a stereotype for a reason. It's a stereotype because they do it. And they do it because that's their religion. They believe that. That's their culture. It always has been. And if you look at their Talmud, and if you look at their holy books, it says that. That's what they call us. They call us Goyim. Goyim means animal, because that's what they think not are. They think that they're God's chosen people. Their matrilineal ethnic tribe was chosen by God, and we weren't. And they think that they're chosen, and they think that they're human beings, and they think that they're better, and they think that we are not chosen, and we are not fully human, and we are not holy, and we're not like them. think that, and that's what they talk to each other about. That's how they talk amongst themselves, and that's how they talk to us. And it's not all of them. And you could say secular Jew, you could say this one's a Zionist or something, but you know what? That is what all of the Jews that came to America believed. Whether in the current day, in 2023, whether they go to the temple or they observe the Sabbath or not, their grandparents did. Their parents did. All the Jewish people that came to America.
I just left the room where we had the negotiations about the digital identity, and I have bad news. The member states and the European Parliament came to an agreement. That means that probably not far from now, the digital identity will be effect in the European Union. Right after this agreement, Commissioner Breton said, now we have the digital identity wallet, we have to put something in it. And what he meant was the digital euro, also known as the central bank digital currency. And this is a very bad development. They always promise us not to make this connection. And even a lot of experts, privacy experts and security experts, warned also last week this is a very bad idea for our privacy and our freedom.
Given this person a part.
Let me just say this, guys. The time is running out. Time is really running out fast. You know, like if humanity does not awaken now and realize that these globalist elite are coming for our money, are coming for our freedom, are coming for our rights, then we are going to have a very bad time. You know, just between now and 2030, these guys want their vision to be actualized. So this is the only time we have left to, you know, sort of like correct these things or, you know, stand up to these guys. So let me just leave it at that. But guys,
yourself, and it'll never go away. Women take on the men that they sleep with, even in personality.
Oh wow! Oh
so yeah. Now you heard probably old heads say, "Be careful who you let braid your hair or who you eat after," right? Because spirits attract. Yes. But it's more like DNA. Damn. And I try to make it short, but these two scientists did an experiment where they were just testing saliva to see what it did. One scientist took his saliva and put it out there on the little test thing, and he left, and the other scientist studied it. The scientist went on a plane flight to somewhere, and the scientist who was observing the saliva, he noticed different interactions in the saliva at certain times. He documented those times. When he met back up with the other scientist, he mentioned to him the times that his saliva made distinct changes. And the guy had, he wrote down whenever he was upset, if he felt any type of emotion and why, and it lined up with the time frame that he kept. So he was about to miss his flight, and his saliva reacted to that, even though it wasn't in his mouth, man.
Wow.
So just imagine that saliva that you just spit out, and that dies after about, I think it was like 14 or 15 hours, it dies. But imagine sperm inside of a body now where it's warm, it's, you know, imagine kissing, smoking, eating after somebody, those, what you would call germs, that bacteria, it gets into a person. Jeez. So a lot of times we're schizo because we got a lot of people inside of us.
Man. I would like to introduce you to the head witch, Michelle Lamy. She's a 78-year-old fashion designer from France, currently married to the American fashion designer, Rick Owens. Here she is wearing his head on her body during Fashion Week. And not only that, through the years, she's developed close relationships with ton celebrities, including A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky mentions Rick Owens in his music a lot, if you're familiar. Here's another picture of A$AP doing the satanic ritual in the beginning of his career. Not only that, Michelle is very close with another coven, the Kardashians. Starting to make sense? I would like to
You lock yourself into a mirror and you stare into your own eyes in the mirror. You are not looking at yourself. That is not you. That's an actual being on the other end of that world that's mimicking you. All right. And this is a powerful thing that must be known and must be understood completely. All right. that when you are looking into a mirror, you are looking at fallen entities that are mimicking you. All right, and the elites will never tell you that. The oppressors will never tell you that. That's why they got a mirror in every house, just like they got a goddamn TV in every house. They all go hand in hand. All right. Also, beings can enter into your home and into your aura field through your mirror. This is why anciently our ancestors, they wanted nothing to really do with mirrors. If you look at because we wasn't really never enslaved like that anyway. But the few of us that would get caught and go into slavery, we wasn't in no mirrors. We looking at the water. We want to see ourselves. We're going to look into a natural source, which is water. Water also gives you a reflection of yourself, as well as metal. These are things that we place here on the planet naturally. A mirror isn't a natural thing, all right? It's a holographic world designed to keep you trapped.
Is witnessing right now the first generation of mutated humans, okay? We're in the timeline right now where we're seeing the first generation of mutated human DNA, where it's going to be leading to that timeline of humans devolving and mutating into becoming the Greys, okay? A lot of us think Greys are aliens, but they're not really aliens. The Grey is an offshoot of what has happened in this collective right now as a result of this experimental gene therapy that's being imposed on the collective consciousness. And you're seeing right now the first generation of the mutation that's happening amongst the human collective. Over time, as this mutation continues, the human body, the human DNA is going to continue to devolve. This is the reason why now the Greys look the way they do, is because it's a mutation of the original human DNA and them devolving, and they have selectively, exchanged certain DNA in preference of other DNA. So the Greys prefer to be more intellectual, more logical. This is the reason why they have massive heads, and they're very intellectual, and they have very strong psychic and mental capabilities, telepathy, psychic abilities, everything relating to the mind.
All I'm gonna say, guys, is all I can say is that conspiracy theorists sound really crazy to NPCs. Let me just say that normal people, just like there are some people who don't peep into this. You need some discernment. You need some otherwise knowledge, which is not education, which is given in school. You need to have a third eye, sort of, to peep into these games and what these guys are doing.
I want you to notice what I notice. I was shown these burned logs in New York City. My first words were, they're going to start burning the world down. 2 days later, Maui begins burning. I posted this video the day before Maui began burning, and Canada and Greece and other areas. I also showed you this sheep, which is a symbol for the masses, being winched out to safety. We've had floods, and we've had fires, and we've had earthquakes, where the masses have needed rescuing and evacuating where they lived. Legoland will always tell you what is coming next. And when you remember it, it becomes all very clear and very loud and very real. I remember the future. The next event is coming in the water. We have internet outages coming. And we have an internet raid on the financial system in which they will collapse the entire market. The signs are there for all to see.
Gargoyle before? Welcome to Illuminati headquarters. I mean, Denver International Airport.
This is awesome.
Have you ever used orphans to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Have you ever used the mentally handicapped to study an experimental vaccine?
I don't recollect ever doing studies in mentally handicapped individuals. At the time, in the 1960s, it was not an uncommon practice.
you're saying, I'm not clear on your answer. I'm sorry. Have you ever used the mentally handicapped to study an experimental vaccine?
What I'm saying is I don't recall specifically having done that, but that in the 1960s it was not unusual to do that, and I wouldn't deny that I may have done so.
Okay. Have you ever used babies of mothers in prison to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Have you ever used individuals under colonial rule to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do so in the Belgian Congo?
Yes.
Did that experiment involve?
That's the end of the video. I hope this video was a mind opener to some of you. Click the like button. You can subscribe if you feel inclined to. Thank you for watching up to the end, and let's meet on the next video.